Ground Zero, the label of the future, nigga.
Being from Chicago, I know that's a whole different culture than, being in Arkansas. How was that adjusting and adapting to, the natural state?
Uh, when I first got down here, you know what I'm saying, I came down here like 2006 for like 3-4 months. And that shit was a culture shock where I was at, you know what I'm saying, Northwest Arkansas, because there weren't that many black people out here. So after that, I shot back. But when I came back down here, you know what I'm saying, like, it was a relief. You know what I mean? I didn't really have to look over my back, over my shoulder as much as I did growing up in Chicago and shit, watching out for little things. So, yeah, it's been beautiful, man. And it's fruitful out here in Arkansas, so I love it.
You mentioned, you didn't have to look over your back. So, like, back home, like, was it some shit that you was doing, or, that's just your environment you come from? Like, Chicago, everybody know, like, shit, it's times where 100 people get killed a day type shit. Like, like, it's just rough up there. So, what was your experience firsthand?
Yeah, I mean, as a kid and teenager and shit, yeah, I got into shit, but it ain't even really about that. It's anybody can get got anytime. You can be broad day at a gas station, and you know what I'm saying, a bullet ain't even meant for you. Niggas beefing, or you can be in a dispute over something small, $5-10 dice game, and a nigga do it to you. And so you just you gotta watch out for your surroundings, see the people you're around. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Check the energy and shit, because you can step in some shit and not even know it. So out here, it ain't a lot of that. You know what I mean? I already know that it's a lot of areas in Arkansas that get busy. So, but where I'm at, where I relocated at, it wasn't really like that. So it was a relief.
So, were you actually doing music before you, touch bases in Arkansas?
Yeah, but I was playing around. I ain't never take it serious though. You know what I mean? I was just spitting, freestyling in the car, at the crib with my niggas getting drunk, shit like that, playing around with it.
When was it where you like, shit, I might got a chance with this shit? Like, let me, tighten up. Let me take this shit serious.
Man, really like three years ago. You know what I mean? Me and Smurf started chopping it up, and he told me like, man, we need to go on here and patch the metal. And I ain't believe at first, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's a motherfucking 1,000 rappers out here, you know what I mean? So, but after a while, we started moving. We started getting that feedback from you know what I'm saying, influencers, DJs, you know what I mean? It started to build your confidence, like, shit, nigga, I actually got a shot.
You mentioned you didn't believe, like, what all played a part in that? Like, you mentioned it's 1,000 artists, but, like, what exactly was it for you? Like, man, this rap shit is not gonna happen. It's not possible.
Yeah, man, for one thing, I ain't ever really want to be one of the rappers that, like, playing a role, you know what I mean? And then I feel like a lot of the rap and a lot of people who make it, it's a lot of gimmicks involved, you know what I mean? So that's discouraging within itself. You'll see a motherfucker who can't even rap, fucking around on the beat, go viral and come up, but then you see some of the hardest rappers still C-list rappers. You know what I mean? That's discouraging. So I just did it for the love and the fun of it. But, you know what I mean? When we started moving around, like I said, we started, I started getting feedback from people who ain't your family, you know what I mean, or your friends. Then it made more sense. Like, yeah, I can actually do this.
You mentioned something, like artists, this shit more of a gimmick when it comes to the industry anyways, is it like, why do you feel like it's designed to be that way?
I don't know. People want to latch on to something, you know what I'm saying? I really don't know what it is, because me personally, I like that rap where, you know what I mean, it's coming from the soul. Somebody talking about something. I grew up in the era with Biggie, Pac, Hove, and a prime, you know what I'm saying, lyricists, Eminem, you know what I mean, Wu-Tang, shit like that. So music feel different to me, you know what I mean? So some people like the gimmicks, you know what I mean? Some people like that shit. But, sometimes that shit work for you, you know, to get you through that door. But that ain't my style.
Do you feel like the ones who, you know, play roles in the gimmick, you know, do you feel like they, you know, lose themselves a little bit, not stay true to themselves, or like, would you consider that selling your soul type shit?
It just depends. You know, I feel like, for instance, Thug had a gimmick when he came out, but he flipped that shit, and now, you know what I'm saying, he one of the best in the world.
Boss, like real talk.
Facts. So it can work. If you got a plan, you know what I mean. I ain't against it, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do to knock through that door. But if you got a plan, then you can make something happen. Thug had a plan. It's obvious he had a plan. Because that shit we seen his first year rapping was not him. You know what I'm saying? He's showing us him now. So that's all it is.
Okay, so boom. You touched back down in Arkansas for good. You know, who were some of the first people you ran into? Like,
man, my circle, really, Smurf. And a couple artists around here, Spider-Verse, TJ Andrews. Those guys was really the first guys I ran into, you know what I'm saying, especially on the music shit. But, you know, I always kept to myself other than that, you know what I mean?
So, you know, like, with you being from Chicago, you know, that kind of brought, you know, your fan base a little bit. Like, would you say, like, it's kind of like the best of both worlds? You got Arkansas and Chicago behind you, or like, you know, how does it, you know, work out for you?
It's still you know what I mean? Like, I get support from Chicago for sure, in Arkansas, but the most support I get ain't even from neither one of them states. Like, I go check out my analytics on Spotify, Apple Music, and it's Dallas that's streaming my shit the most. It's St. Louis that's streaming my shit the most. So I really can't say that. They show love, but you know what I mean? Numbers don't lie.
You mentioned numbers don't lie. So how do you feel about artists or, you know, people who pay and, you know, buy followers, buy views, buy, you know, likes, buy streams, you know, spend their money on, you know, on that. You know, some see it as investment, but in a way, I kind of feel like that's a wrong investment.
Yeah, I agree. And we can tell. Nigga, we can tell. You know what I'm saying? You got 40K followers on Instagram, but you only be getting like 100 views. Nigga, we know. You know what I mean? So you doing yourself a disservice if you do that. Build your shit the authentic way. But, you know, if you got a plan, who am I to knock your plan? You know what I mean? If you think them numbers gonna trickle down into something else, you know, if you got some higher ups looking at you, whatever the case may be, then, you know what I mean, do you.
When you come to that sense, though, do you feel like it kind of fuck with, you know, artist pride? Because at the end of the day, shit, I don't give a damn. You gotta have some alone time, some downtime to yourself. Like, fuck, this shit really not what it, you know, what it is.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, it's an ego thing, man. Trying to feed our egos in there as artists. You know what I mean? You got an ego, and then on top of that, you trying to keep up with other motherfuckers. You see a nigga post, you know what I mean, they monthly listen, he got 5,000. You might think you harder than him. Like, damn.
Let me go juice my shit up real quick.
You know what
I'm
saying?
finna post mine. Now I got 50,000. What, nigga?
Exactly. You got 50,000 streams, but motherfucking still 200 monthly listeners. You know what I mean? Like, it don't add up. So just build your shit the natural way. I ain't gonna flex. My shit ain't up there. You know what I mean? But it's a ground. See, one thing I want the people to see, that they can see where I come from. You know what I mean? They can see me at the right here in this moment and go check my shit. And then hopefully a year later, that shit quadruple or times 10. But when you see that, you gonna know that it's authentic.
I know you tapped in with the Arkansas music scene. You know, you paying attention to what's going on. You know, you sitting back in the cut. You know, like what would you say about the entertainment, the music, you know, the music scene right now?
I like where it's going, because I was starting when it was at the bottom of the totem pole. Now it's getting more competitive. You know what I'm saying? The videographers are sharpening each other. You know what I'm saying? You just can't put out anything no more, because you ain't gonna get no work. So it's still sharpening still, and I feel like that with the music too. The music is a lot better than it was 4 years ago. The quality of the music is a lot better. You know what I mean? So I like where it's going. We just gotta work together. You know what I mean? Niggas put their egos aside. And something Rod D said from the other interview that you did with him, and I checked that out. Let's stop doing these shows for free.
Real talk.
Like, these niggas pay us. They gonna go pay a nigga you ain't never heard of. He might be popping somewhere else, but he ain't popping here. But they'll go pay that nigga to come down here and do a show. You can pay him. You can pay me. You know what I'm saying? Even if you gotta put some type of stipulation on it. All right, look, you gotta sell 25 tickets and you can get this off of that. I'm willing to even, you know what I'm saying, go that far. But as far as just keep performing for free, that shit dead.
Most definitely. And when it comes to you working with Arkansas artists, have you tapped in with any?
Yeah, Gorilla Spade, Bobby Racksmith, Pluto from Northwest Arkansas, Bando, Spider-Verse. It's a lot of different artists I've worked with, but I'm open to work with everybody though. To be honest, because I'm just trying to extend that olive branch. Like,
I seen Peasy make a post on Instagram the other day. Peasy from where he from, Detroit or wherever he from. He was like, he be seeing artists like shit. They not fucking with doing features. They not doing this, but he was like shit. He rap hustling. Like, he don't have any industry friends, so like he pretty much open to work with anybody type shit. Because in the same way, he's still trying to build a name for himself in the industry. So. Like that's kind of like the same sense to you here in Arkansas?
Facts. That's what, man, last year I did over 20 features. You know what I mean? Some paid, some I did off the love, and some haven't put shit out. But, you know what I'm saying? I worked with a lot of different people, and not just from Arkansas, all over, you know what I mean? From Minnesota, I had a homie, he reached out to me through social media. MGM, he from Kansas City. He drove down to fucking Fayetteville to shoot a video with me, paid me for a feature, put it on the album, mad thing. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brody.